Okay, folks, what we got going on is this is Sticks, and you've seen him in previous videos, whether you know it or not. It's been probably 4 or 5 years ago. We have no concept of time, so we just guess at everything. So he's either 9, 10, somewhere around there. The point of the video is that you watch me back up Chinaco in the hackamore. You watch me ride him in the hackamore, okay? I mentioned at one time you can do the same thing in a snaffle bit if you understand timing and release. So that's what I want to share today. The way I approach it with the snaffle as opposed to a hackamore is what I want to share with you. So this snaffle is mine, so you know it's not broke in the middle. We've learned over the years that broke in the middle means you're going to lose a high percentage of the horse's brain. So what I have to do with this horse is present myself and then ask him to walk backwards. Now what I want you to watch is that as I pick these reins up, watch everything come into play. My body, his body, everything from head to tail. So now I'm going to sit up, get my math correct, make the bubble, and I'm asking the horse to walk backwards. Now watch his nose. You notice my hands are touching the saddle. Now, what's happened is he knows what to do and he chooses not to move his feet. So now I'm going to get some life in my legs, right? Now, both legs, and say, excuse me. Now my hands aren't on the saddle because I need this vertebrae. Now remember, if it was a hackamore, all you'd be seeing is me bumping. What you're seeing now is pressure, and it's his, this is important, it's his job to get behind my hands until he agrees to work with me. As soon as he agrees that he's going to go off a feel, then it's my job to release. Now it's his job to release. So I'm going to say, I need you to gather up, as in collection, and walk backwards. Now, since you made it, I'm going to give you back the rein. But now your nose went out. So I'm asking again, and then I'm giving the rein back right there. That's called an intentional step. If you watch my right knee, you'll see how much my leg is off. Now I'm going to drop my right knee at the same time as my left, exhale and sit down. And the horse stops. Now I'm going to say, okay, go ahead and stretch. And by the way, I want to say hi to Bob and Cheryl in Ajo, Arizona. They're good friends of ours and we miss seeing them, so hello to you. Hope you're keeping warm down there. I can mail a jacket to you if you're in a bind. Fact is, all you need is a bar of soap down there right now because the monsoon made it. Now I'm going to walk forward, and on this horse, because of his age, knowing him and the mileage, his job is to walk forward in a level of collection, and when I'm finished today, tomorrow, next year, he'll be walking forward on a loose rein. Now let me show you what a loose rein looks like in the snaffle bit world. Right there. If you see that much play, this is when you're making a circle outside. That's how loose the rein is. When I'm talking about schooling, this is what it looks like. So now I'll walk forward, and I'm asking him, walk forward with some dignity. If you need to just barely move your feet in a schooling walk, I don't really care right now. What I need you to do is to get on the payroll and pay attention. Now, just so everybody knows, this is what horses do. They're a prey animal, so their mind goes away. Well, then it comes right back. What I'm getting at is they'll look around. You watch the ears and you'll see they're looking at things, any kind of movement. Well, if he didn't look and he was brain dead, then he would be a halter horse. So I prefer to have a horse that has some kind of a brain. Now, once again, I'm going to say I need you to bridle up. Now, I'll sit up, take my legs off. Now, I just asked him to walk backwards. You can see the amount of straightness in my rein. Now, horse is gone. Watch my right leg and understand that the left leg's going to do the same thing. Now, I'm telling the horse, you need to pay attention to me. Thank you. Now, if you would please walk backwards. Now I'll give you the rein. There. He's walking straight so I don't have to put a leg on him. I'm going to stop and stand. Give me your head, please. Here it comes. In other words, he was pushing on the bit, so I asked him to bridle up. Now, you're allowed to stretch. Now, it's real important that you understand, I bumped him with both legs. I actually made contact with the spurs because he was not checking in when I asked him to check in. It's his job to check in. Once again, I'm going to walk forward in collection. Right there. Now you'll see me move the horse over, plus put pressure and release. Now I'm going to sit down and ask him to walk backwards. I'll move his right front foot over because he got crooked. Now he needs to pay attention and walk backwards. Something that's interesting for me is that he can walk backwards and still be looking left or right. Doesn't matter when he's using his brain. Moving the feet is as you know, walking, and when you just walk as a human, you don't pay attention, you just walk. Well, he can just walk plus look around. The word around, he's not allowed to do this because my reins won't let him. So I'm keeping him in a spot here that he still has to stay straight. Now here's the reason why I'm making the video. I hope I'm not just babbling here. The main thing I want you to understand about this video is it's all about me taking my legs off. Away from the horse. Okay, so now the horse doesn't pay attention. It's ill-mannered. I bump and I say, wake up. He says, okay, got it. Now I keep my legs off. Now he gets crooked going into my right leg, so I put my leg on to straighten him out. That's why the legs stay off. Now what I've learned over time is that if you really put the energy and take your legs off more, they'll walk faster. In their brain, it's like freeing them up. Now there's a go-to. All I did was sit up. I didn't ask him to walk backwards. He walked backwards because now he's on the payroll. So now I'm going to walk in a circle. That's the amount of weight on my hands, folks. Looking, asking. Impulsion is my right leg. Putting an arc in his spine is my left leg. I keep going forward and back with my hands because I want him to walk in collection. I'll say the word there when he's correct. There. Now, I hate to be Mr. Captain Reminder, but what I watch in the clinics from Washington to South Carolina is people still have this thing about doing this. Watch my elbow. This is how you release. Pressure, release. Pressure, release. That's how it's done. To me, if you do this, you're going to teach your horse to pull the reins out of your two little fingers. If you have your entire fist on it and give with your elbow, they're not going to pull the reins out of your hands, I'll guarantee you. I want to leave. Now I'm going to arc the rib out, and I'm going to ask him to make a turn. My right hand will shift the weight back, and the horse will turn. Now remember, I said my right hand. It's the opposite of what a lot of people think. Now my left hand, I've given the horse direction right now. My left hand pulls straight back, and that shifts the weight to the hindquarters so the horse can turn. And I know we've been over this 100 times, but according to the emails I get, I need to do it 101. Now I'm going to control the feet with my body. Asking. Now here's the deal about collection. This is something that's pretty important to me. What really happens when you're schooling a horse, the reason I keep using the word collection is because when a horse is done, he'll walk his front end around in self-carriage. When he's not done, he's going to push on the bit. 1 pound, 2 ounces, 3. If he's always pushing with a pound or more, you need to back up and get it where it's a pound or less before you move on. What happens is when people get a horse turning, they start turning more, and they're tickled to death with the feet, and they're forgetting about the horses pushing through the bridle. So that's the start of ruining a horse. So that's why I'm so slow at doing everything, as in the speed that I do it and the time. So what I want, now watch this horse's skull, watch his nose. I'm going to back him up, then I'm going to turn right. Now I'm going to ask him to turn right. See that push on the bit? Well, you may think it's subtle, but it turns into big over time. So what I tell a horse is that you need to stay in collection because I need you balanced. Now you need to move your feet accurately. If you're pushing with your nose, then you lose your accuracy. What I've done is I've worked the horse a little bit. Now I'm allowing it to do nothing, which means it gets to do what this horse does. It looks around. It's a prey animal. When I ask it to walk backwards, feel that? When I ask it to walk backwards, it's going to start by me reaching for the reins, and that'll give the horse the first clue. If you'll notice, the left front foot fell into sin. As I reach for the reins, I'm going to bring my body up in the position of a horse walking backwards. Right? Now, I've set it up. This horse should walk backwards in collection. There. Now I need to move the right front foot to the outside. Now, thank you so much. The left front foot needs to go the other way. The other way. Thank you so much. Now please understand, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to show you what I don't want to see when I make a horse. The problem I ran into from Washington to South Carolina, and I get this lame excuse about old habits. Well, old habits, quit whining. Wake up, pay attention, and quit doing the wrong thing. Here it goes. I'm not going to move the right front foot by moving my right hand. I'm going to move it by pressuring the outside leg, and that moves the foot over. My horse raised his skull, if you'll notice it, so I know in my mental notebook, over time he's not going to raise his skull a half an inch. He's just going to simply stay in collection and move his right front foot. Now that little demonstration, my friends, is a difference, and I'm going to go ahead and use this word because hopefully it'll stick. That's a difference between a horse schooling and a horse resenting. Now just raising their skull that much turns into rooting on the reins unless you've got your timing down. That's why I told you. You can do this just like the hackamore if you have timing. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you very much. Goodbye.